Dude, welcome back to Hanging Out with the Dudes. I'm your host, PC, and we have a great show for you, as always, coming at you from the three of us today. As always, we are unfortunately missing Nick Howard. I believe he was surfing the great surfing waves in the middle of Japan or something. I can't quite remember. He gave us a weird type of explanation today, but it is what it is. We got the two fellows here. Yeah, it's just unbelievable stats he's pulling right now. K-Stel, how are we doing today?
Well, it was a good weekend for sports in my department.
It's a little dark in there, Kyle. Can you see?
It is. Yeah, I can see. I don't have any lighting. I also don't have anything up in the background, unless you guys want to see the desk that isn't completed. Other than that, solid weekend of sports this week in my department for the teams that are playing. For me, not actually for me, but like the teams I watch. I think it's a solid week. Solid week. Got a little rainy and then got a little sunny. So.
When's Jack getting the call?
What's that?
When's Jack getting the call?
He should be going to Omaha tomorrow. He should be on a bus, on a plane, wherever you want to do. Get him up there on the off day is what I'd like to see.
To the AAA?
Yeah, AAA. You got to get him.
Isn't he one of those players that's that good that probably eventually he's just going to get the...
Yeah.
Does he need to see AAA pitching?
It's more or less like him seeing it and seeing if Hunter Renfroe can do something. We're just waiting for him to get hurt. That's kind of what it is. We are paying a guy. We gotta at least make him try to earn it. If you can't do it in 3 months, see ya.
Big man for way out west. How we doing today?
Hello, folks. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. Mets, I believe, still have the best record in baseball.
I think it's the Tigers now. I think it's the Tigers or the Dodgers.
By win percentage, it is the Dodgers, then the Padres, then the Tigers, and the Mets are tied at third at 629. The Giants are also right in there. The Seattle Mariners, 606. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about the Mariners. I saw a thing that the Texas Rangers fans are accusing the Mariners offense of cheating and having corked bats. It's just some jabronis talking to some jabronis, but it is funny that I have Mariners fans that are excited that their team is even being accused of cheating. So, yeah, great baseball. UFC, interesting. I mean, this is what happens in the world of combat. We also got Canelo. Nick Howard's not going to be here, PC said.
I was going to say his hair.
Canelo is... Canelo fought. We'll maybe talk about some boxing. Ryan Garcia illegally streamed the fight. Still want my money back. Yeah, fun stuff. The draft is over. We have 4 months till football season. Is that true? Jeez, man. God, Kyle's going to have to wait that long to see a team actually perform and do something other than like a Thursday afternoon game against the Reds.
No, he's spending money.
It was the Rays. You missed two letters. You missed 2 letters. Got close.
Yeah, it's good to catch up on the dudes. Glad the dudes are here. Let's get right into it. Let's talk a little off season. We were talking football a little bit. Just kind of wanted to see if any updates from the dudes, what they've seen from around the league. We talked a little bit of the draft, but if you guys have anything else you want to cover, just something kind of quick before we get right into the actual sports that are going on. So, K-Stel, you got anything about the Chiefs that you like, that you've seen, or is it kind of the same stuff?
Josh Simmons just signed a 4-year, $6 million deal. Just paying out his rookie seasons. Good start. Means that he's going to be here for a while. I did see something really funny about Andy Reid commenting about how well he moved at the minicamp, and he's like him being shocked that a really good tackle prospect that fell to them in the 32nd pick is playing good. It's almost like picking up a good, proper offensive tackle prospect is better than going out for a project offensive tackle in the 3rd round. So that is pretty funny. It's kind of funny how the Chiefs operate that way. They kind of want to get that guy out of the third round and make him do this and this, and instead of just going out and getting the dude. I did see Jalen Royals out there. Is it Jalen Royals or Jaden Royals? Jalen, I think. He's out there sporting number 11.
Yeah,
See,
Jalen Royals.
we'll see what happens to him. All the other guys are doing fine. Sky Moore, sorry, but your time is up. How about a little local kid time? Jared Casey is signed a UDFA with the Chiefs. He may be a piece that Andy Reid likes. Just a fast lineman that can catch the ball. If that's anything Andy Reid wants, that's something. Nothing crazy, nothing special that blew my expectations out of the water. Minicamp's underway.
Yeah, I was looking at the Chiefs. Jalen Royals. There's a bunch of stuff on him. I know he's kind of that fourth round. The fourth round pick that sometimes the Chiefs find really good talent down there. We'll see. Wait and see on him. Getting the offensive tackle and then the defensive tackle rounds 1 and 2 were huge for the Chiefs. You saw how they got destroyed on both sides of the ball, and that's really was the biggest threat for them during the Super Bowl. That was immediately exposed. We'll have to wait and see on those prospects specifically, but P4 maybe from way out west. I saw a little bit of Justin Fields throwing the football a little bit, looking pretty good. Actually, what are your current updates on your New York Jets?
Yeah, got to build that offensive line. First part of the game, first facet of the game is the trenches. So I like what they're doing. Again, cautiously optimistic. And AG, seen some cool Dan Campbell things recently of him talking about Aaron Glenn. And then Aaron Glenn, obviously, himself talking. So I'm cautiously optimistic for the season. We'll see how it goes. The draft picks still look good. Just kind of learning about these guys, seeing what you think the team's going to do with them. Fast guys, strong guys. A lot of these guys have some good prowess to bring to the table. So I'm excited. Some other good teams around the league. The Packers got their first-round wide receiver. He's going to wear a number in the 20s.
That'll be really interesting to see, especially a wide receiver in the 20s.
Yeah, I mean, Sky Moore did it, but
Yeah.
it's not a great look. We'll see. I think it's an exciting time for NFL fans. Everyone's 0-0. Everyone has an equal chance at winning the Super Bowl. So this is when the going gets tough right here. Getting ready for our own little football seasons across the country as well. So this is an exciting time. 2-a-days coming up quick, and OTAs starting in the NFL. It's a good time.
Yep, we're absolutely kind of going towards this off season. Football's closer than what we think, and we said off camera that it's 4 months away. I mean, that's going to go by real quick. So middle of May, starting up back again in August. I mean, football is not in the air right now, but you know what is in the air is that it's currently the NBA playoffs. It's the thing that's shining bright right now as the current thing. Baseball, obviously, but baseball is such a long sport that right now they're just kind of in the early parts like we talked about last week. So we're going to go to the NBA playoffs. Last week we talked about how the Grizzlies got swept by the Thunder. Some of the current results we're going to kind of go over here. And I'll see if any of the dudes got any of the thoughts if they caught any of these games or not. Let's start with the Lakers. Get Luka Doncic. Everybody's super excited. Everything. They ended up losing in 5 to Anthony Edwards, Ant-Man, and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Ant looked like just an absolute killer out there. Rudy Gobert had 27 in their final Game 5 victory. Naz Reid is really great. Jaden McDaniels, really good on that squad as well. The biggest thing for the Lakers is they did not have a center, and so Rudy Gobert was able to just dominate the paint and dominate around the rim. And then when Anthony Edwards is on fire like the way he was, it was it's pretty funny to watch Anthony Edwards walk around the Lakers stadium after they're done talking crap to all the fans, like saying a bunch of stuff. So it's pretty cool clips out there. But Timberwolves move on. They are going to play the winner of the current game right now, which is the Golden State Warriors and Houston Rockets in Game 7. Currently, Golden State is up 12 with 6 minutes left, but you never know in the NBA. People catch fire all the time. Winner of that will play the Timberwolves. We talked about the Thunder last week, right? Beating Memphis, and then we get a great game. We get a Game 7. When you see Game 7 in the NBA, you're like, this is going to be a great game. And then you especially see the Denver Nuggets, who have Joker and Jamal and Michael Porter Jr. and Christian Brown and all these players. You got the LA Clippers, who have James Harden and Kawhi and Norman Powell, and it's supposed to be this great game, and the Nuggets beat the brakes off of the Clippers in Game 7, beating them by 30 points. It wasn't even fun to watch. That was the disappointing part in the West, but the Thunder and the Nuggets will play each other in the second round. That'll be a really great matchup with Shea versus Jamal, Chet Holmgren versus Joker. So really good matchup there for Denver to maybe even squeak out a win there. OKC is another top team, but to me personally, I feel like they need another year of experience. It's kind of like Boston was a few years ago, where they're going to be really, really good, but they just need a few more years of experience. But yeah, that'll be a really great series. And then, of course, we don't know 100% who the Timberwolves will play. I'm going to take the Timberwolves in that matchup. I think that unless they play Steph and Steph goes nuts, which obviously could happen. But I think Ant's on a mission to become the GOAT killer, or the superstar killer, and ending off a lot of these older guys is really grasp and reign of being the guy in the NBA. They've already kind of been put towards the back end. Now they're going to be pushed a bit further back if Ant does anything well. That'll be a great second round matchup. Hey, Stel, P4, did you guys catch any of these games? Anything you catch specifically?
I mean, Anthony told Obama that he was the truth to his face. Anthony Edwards has.
And he proved it.
He's a psychopath. He's a psychopath. LeBron James is arguably the greatest basketball player we've ever watched in the history of ever. But LeBron James has something that most of quote-unquote GOATs don't have. And it's truly impressive how he is able to be that good and not have this quality. And that's a psychopathic quality. LeBron James has never been known to be a psychopath or something crazy like that. And he's able to win a lot of these games. Anthony Edwards has that, just twisted mentality of a player that you need in the NBA. And he proves it. I'm not gonna. I mean, could you name another player that would walk around a stadium or an arena?
John Morant.
Sure, but the John Morant also probably has 5 guns on him.
Oh yeah, true. But
Anthony Edwards walked out there just with nothing. It takes one crazy person to go up and do that. You just have to have a certain style of crazy to just be like that. And some of it sounds cliche, but the dude's a maniac. He's a maniac, and he's going to go in, he's going to do whatever it takes to get to the finals and win the finals. He's just that good.
They're gonna be crazy. They made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals last year before losing to Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. But really interesting to see what's going to happen there. In the East, the Cavs had the sweep over the Heat. Nothing too crazy there. The Cavs, very good team. Obviously, have the Spider, Donovan Mitchell, and they have Darius Garland and Evan Mobley, who is really good as well. And then the Pacers and the Bucks were playing in Game 5. The Bucks had Giannis, and Dame got hurt twice, and it was hard for them to get anything going. Tyrese Halliburton and the Pacers are really underrated, especially after Game 1 today. They actually beat the Cavs in Game 1 in Cleveland, which was pretty shocking. But Tyrese is seriously underrated. By the way, Tyrese Halliburton's dad getting in the face of Giannis was the funniest thing on the internet this week. Talking shit to a literal MVP and NBA champion as you just are 5'9" is hilarious. But good on the Pacers. Pacers are gonna be really good. Obviously, they beat the Cavs in Game 1 today. But that'll be really interesting going forward to watch that Cavaliers-Pacers matchup. Again, the Cavs kind of have that feeling where it's just like the Thunder, where yes, they have Donovan, who's really experienced, but they they don't have that much playoff experience. So I think they could get slipped up. I don't know if it'll be against the Pacers, but either the Knicks or the Celtics could could obviously knock them off from going to the NBA Finals because Boston's really good. But speaking of Boston, they beat main man from way out west is Paulo Banchero and the Orlando Magic in 5 games. Paulo looked really good actually in the series, but Orlando does need like another piece. You can definitely tell.
McClung would be a solid piece.
Yeah, 100% right. And then the Magic. I mean, the Celtics are going to be good anyways. They were good this whole year. This wasn't really a matchup where everybody thought was going to be that close. So they just continue to reign. And then one of the most interesting matchups in the Knicks and the Pistons. The Knicks did win 4-2. Jalen Brunson looks like one of the best NBA playoff players we've seen in a long time. Just the way he's been playing is nice. OG Anunoby, and then also Mikal Bridges, is doing really, really well for them as well. The Pistons have a lot to look forward to. They had 3 straight years where they were really down in the gutter and got missed out on the first overall pick. Like, we're picked 4 and 5, like 2 years back to back after having the best odds to, actually pick first. Seeing Cade Cunningham bring that team together is really something positive. It looks like Michael Beasley, who was a really big key for them, is interested in coming back, something to build. They can hopefully build off of. Who knows? But it's good to see the Pistons back in the playoffs. We get a classic Boston Celtics versus New York Knicks semifinal. Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen versus Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. If I had to pick one, you know what? I think it's the Knicks' year this year. Give me the Knicks to beat Boston in 7. Be a pretty great series. I think that'll be the best series out of all of them, unless the Timberwolves and the Warriors play. That would be pretty good. But K-Stel, did you watch any of the East? What's anything exciting you?
I didn't see any East. No East games for me. I did see a couple of the bigger media things, like Tyrese's dad getting in the face of. One thing I did want to point out, and it didn't revolve around the dad of Tyrese Halliburton. Did you see when Giannis went up to another player? And it looked like Giannis was trying to console him, saying good game or whatever. But he with his giant mega hands, grabbed the back of this player's head, and then after 5 or 6 seconds, they started getting chippy. It was really weird. I mean, when you're 6'7" and just a monster, and someone's grabbing the back of your head, and this guy was probably the best athlete in anywhere he played. Do you know what I'm talking about? Did you see this video of Giannis?
Yeah, it was the whole game. It's Giannis being frustrated with Milwaukee. He's definitely looking to be traded this offseason. Some interesting places I've heard is Golden State. I've also heard OKC. I've heard a few other places as well, just for a ton of draft pick back, maybe the Clippers. But Giannis is definitely looking to be out. I think it's just a lot of frustration. He lost Dame all year, and then lost him for 3 out of the 5 games that they played, and he really tore. I think he tore his Achilles or something in game 5, basically. So Milwaukee's in a real hole. But they need to trade Giannis and just restart over there. They won a championship for being really small with Giannis. Let Giannis go be the big market team who can build around him, but get some draft capital back for that. So there's your NBA playoffs. Of course, we'll be going through that every single week. Hopefully next week we'll have a little bit more results, and we'll see how really interesting round 2 goes. By the time we get to the Western Conference Finals, we'll have the dudes kind of give their insights and picks. So look forward to that. But let's go to the other thing that's now in season. Let's go look over to the diamond instead of the basketball court. And it's K-Stel. It's going to talk to us a little bit about some MLB. I know that we're all hyped up. The Royals are actually playing pretty well. The Mets are obviously really, really good. Hey, the Mariners even. Shout out Jess. I don't know if he's on or not, but the Mariners.
Jess, where are you at? Is Jess even? Is he a Mariners fan, or
is he a Mariners fan,
or is he from Chicago?
Not a big baseball guy. I think he might be a Cubs because he's Bears.
Well, tell him to get with the system.
But K-Stel, go ahead and take it away on our MLB update.
Yeah, so we'll start it off at the beginning in the AL. The New York Yankees are ahead in the AL East. the Yankees actually just lost 2 series in a row, 2 to the Orioles. They did end up scoring 15 runs against them in one game. That was crazy. But then the Yankees lost to the Rays. Anthony Volpe is a bum and should get punched in the freaking mouth every single time. And the only reason I want to trade for Heston Kjerstad or whatever that kid's name is because he just baby boyed Anthony Volpe. Anthony Volpe's a bum and is always going to be a bum. Red Sox didn't have a hot week either. They played the Blue Jays and they also played the Twins. They lost both of those series. Not looking good right now for the Boston Red Sox. Blue Jays aren't doing too terrible. They're 16-18. They're trying to find their pieces. Rays are also 16-18. They either get on a hot streak or a weird streak. The Orioles, not too shabby. Detroit right now is looking fantastic, 22-13. Guardians are 20-14. The Royals are 19-16. Came back from that awful losing streak. The Twins are 15-20, still 5 games below 500, and the White Sox are 10-24. Ouch. Mariners are 20-13. Shout out Mariners hitting. Looks pretty solid. At number 2 in the West, the Athletics. Whoa. That's pretty crazy. Astros are 17-16. Rangers are 17-18. Rangers just fired their hitting coach. And the Angels, after getting off to a hot start, are 13-20. Trade pieces. Where are they going? Let's go to the National League. The Mets are atop the NL East, 22-13. They are 3 games ahead of the Phillies, who are 19-15. They're battling. They're doing their thing. Nationals are the 3rd best right now. Looks like the NL East is not doing too hot. Nationals are the 3rd best team with a 16-19 record. The Braves are a measly 15-18. And the Marlins are 13-20. Kyle Stowers, where are you going? Probably the Yankees. The Cubs are 21-14 in the National League Central. Reds are 18-17. Brewers are 17-18. Cardinals are 16-19. They just took 2 games from the Mets today. Good team. And the Pirates, don't even talk to me about the Pirates. Let's go to the NL West. Dodgers are in first with a 23-11 record. Padres also have a 22-11 record. The Giants are 22-13. The D-backs are 18-16. And oh, look at that, the Rockies, who don't even have 10 wins, are 6-28. Let's take a look right now at the the standings right now. Let's go to the wild card. Boop-a-da-boop-a-da-boop. Right now, your Detroit Tigers are your number 1 team in the AL with a 22-13 record. They're playing pretty darn well. That's a pretty solid point differential right there. 24-11 is what their expected win percentage is, but who gives? 7-3 in their last 10. That's pretty solid. They're hitting and they're pitching. They're doing a lot of good things well. Speaking of doing a lot of good things well, the Seattle Mariners, with that awesome pitching, is just deciding to hit the ball really, really hard, and it's giving them a lot of good outcomes. They are 20-13 with a plus 29 run differential. Very, very solid for the Seattle Mariners up in the Pacific Northwest. I'm pretty sure P4's heard all about it from that one lady or whatever. And then the Yankees are sitting here. That little 19-15 action. What's going on with the Yankees? Not doing too well. They're 5-5 in their last 10. Just a 52% run differential, but, it's whatever. Wild card standings, the Cleveland Guardians are 20-14 with a minus 23 point differential. They're an odd team, but they're going to play Guardians baseball. They come back once in a while. Athletics are number 2 right now in the AL wild card. What's going on here? Sitting at a negative 22 point differential. And then look at that. Kansas City Royals came back from that awful stretch they had, the 6 games. They have won 8 of their last 2, 11 of their last 13. They're playing pretty good ball. We'll talk about that later. Houston is sitting there right at the edge, trying to get in, just 2 games behind. Boston is right at 500 with Rangers. Of course, fired their hitting coach, not doing too well. Best ERA in baseball for a pitching staff, so we'll see what happens there. Tampa Bay's Tampa Bay. The Toronto Blue Jays are Toronto Blue Jays, and Minnesota is doing well. A surpriser at the bottom, the Baltimore Orioles. What's going on with their pitching? We'll find out later. LA, Chicago, Right now, the Dodgers are ahead in the NL with a 23-11 record, but people keep getting hurt. What's going on? What's going on right there with their training staff? Not doing too well. The Mets have had a couple of stinkers, if you want to call that, for games, but they're still sitting at 22-13. I'd take that every day of the week if that was my team. Just a couple of stinkers. Juan Soto isn't playing at an MVP level at the moment, but I'm pretty sure he's going to get there. And the Cubs are doing really well too. Shota Imanaga got hurt today, strained a hamstring. The Cubs also have 0 bullpen, so we'll see what that does to them. The Padres are, of course, in the first spot of the AL wild card. They're really good. We'll see where that takes them. San Francisco came out of nowhere and decided to play good baseball. Their defense is still silly, so we'll see what happens. And then the Phillies are sitting there right at that little 3-game mark ahead of 500. They should be there, but the D-backs, man, they need to get going. They got too much talent to be sitting here below the wild card spot. You know, the Cincinnati Reds, they got some stuff. They got some pitchers. They got some hitters. Got some defense. We'll see what they do. The Milwaukee Brewers deserve every bit of not success they get. St. Louis, they're in a rebuild mode, but they're still trying. They're still figuring it out. Washington, you guys stink. You're never going to figure it out. The Braves have fumbled. The Miami Marlins are trying to trade for somebody. Pittsburgh, dude, your fans are literally jumping out of their seats of how bad you are. It's unbelievable. I won't take that joke too far. And the Colorado Rockies, oh my gracious. And they're not going to trade for anybody at the deadline. It's unbelievable. It's a little bit of baseball, a little bit of diamond stuff. Here, I'll close that right here. Just taking a look at that. P4, you want to say anything about your Mets? You got anything? I know they had a pretty not fun day, but they're still 22-13. You still got to, give them some credit.
And this is something that we talked about in the group chat. When the Mets win 14-0, and then they lose 5-4, makes me feel a little worse about that 15-0. Why don't we save some of those hits for the 5-4 game?
I think you're just thinking too hard. I think your team's just really good, and I think your team's just.
I think we need to win 96.53 games to win the division. Now, to do that, we need to score 126.79 runs.
Now listen, I do see where you're coming from with the how many runs are we getting? How many are we getting here? So I understand where you're coming from, but I'd say right now, just try to be hot near the end of October like you were last year. You got a dude in Juan Soto who's been in the playoffs before, and he's shown up in the playoffs before, especially with that crowd behind you. It just is a little more juice. And first of all, your pitching is, I listen, you lose a couple of games here and there. Your pitching is fantastic. You have a low ERA, you have a low FIP. It's going to work out really well for you guys. Knock on wood somewhere so that nothing else silly happens. I know the Mets have that style, but look, they look good. They look solid. They don't look like a bad team that is winning good games. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So it looks solid. PC, anything from the Royals side before I jump in? I'm not going to go too crazy, but.
A little bit. There's just some. Just the stuff that we've been kind of talking about. The outfield kind of being a little bit of who knows, but they played a lot better this last few weeks, or this last week specifically. Miguel Garcia is playing awesome. Our pitching staff is doing pretty well. There's a lot to look forward to. Obviously there's some youth in here, but there's also some experience. So it's exciting right now. I watch it some. I try to keep up as best as I can with baseball. It's obviously not my foresight on everything, but it is fun to watch right now, and especially as we get closer and closer to playoff season. I'm gonna definitely keep track a little bit more. But Garcia, man, I really like Garcia. I like the way Bobby's playing. Could get a little bit more out of Vinny, but it is what it is at the same time. So, but yeah, good stuff for KC starting off. Basically, like we were saying, like week 3 of the NFL season still.
Yeah, I think we just ended week 3 right now of the MLB season. I think I did the math right in my head. I don't know for sure. I'm at like 2.9 right now. Weeks in NFL style. Yeah, guys, if you haven't heard, but the Royals actually, the Royals and Orioles, I guess, broke a MLB record today. Most solo home runs in a single game at 10. And they might have tied it. I don't know. Royals also broke their franchise record with the most home runs in a game at 7. The Royals were dead last in home runs, and then they hit 13 home runs in their first 33 games. And in the last 2 games, they decided to hit 10. So baseball works very funny. Bobby Witt Jr., good baseball player. Michael Garcia, though, yeah, this dude is a all-star level player right now. I'm saying that he could get all-star votes over.
Yeah, he's
Bregman.
hitting 319 and
he's the best hitter on the Royals.
79.
He hit 2 home runs today.
Yeah.
Crazy stat: when Michael Garcia has more than 1 hit, the Royals are undefeated. They're undefeated.
Yeah, he's kind of been that little piece. Our infield was good anyways, and we always had our struggles in the outfield. But that's another hitting piece that has kind of seemed. I mean, it's still early, but hopefully that continues to be that good, because that would be that one piece that
Vinny,
would kind of to really make a run to the World Series.
And listen,
the AL is kind of down this year.
They're very down. They're very.
I mean, Detroit's really good, obviously, but I mean, playoff experience. You never know what happens, so it's really interesting. But I'm a big Garcia guy.
Yeah. So what's gonna? Vinny's playing well too. Vinny just shaved into a mustache. That might have helped. His wife may not like it, but who cares? Who cares? Yeah, and I won't talk about Jack Caglione. He's doing some crazy stuff too, showing out for the fans. I will have a article out soon. It's about teams who do how do I put this? I did a little enormous spreadsheet. P4 has seen it a couple times. Financials in baseball. I'm going to get some of that stuff together, and I'm waiting a little bit longer for the season to roll around. I got a pretty solid article coming around about the teams that are ruining baseball, and it's not the Dodgers, it's not the Yankees, it's not who you think they are. It's the teams that have really good pitching staff, such as Paul Skeens, such as Joe Ryan, and are doing nothing to add on to that. It's getting so bad that they have fans jumping out of their seats. So that will be coming up soon. I may ask Nick Howard to come and write a little bit with me as well, because he is very big on that as well. But good baseball week, I think, for everybody. Probably for Nick Howard too. I think he likes what he sees.
Yeah, totally. And like we said, it's still kind of early on, but it is good to keep up with the old baseball out there, especially with all of our whopping amazing subscribers that we have who obviously love baseball. Get a little bit of a glimpse into the head of K-Snell, which is something that could be bad or could be good, but you know what? It is what it is. Let's go and move on to fight weekend. We had UFC Sanhagen and a Figueiredo who fought in the main event. P4, you're going to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, might as well. I'll share the screen. Let you guys see what we're working with here. All right. So, UFC Fight Night, Sandhagen Figueiredo. It was in the Wells Fargo Arena, Des Moines, Iowa, United States. One of the referees, a little fun fact here, one of the referees, what was his name? Ref, Iowa. Maybe there's going to be something here. Mike Beltran was there for sure. But there was a guy, Tyrone Roberts. This was not my source. Was Facebook. Tyrone Roberts, he was a referee this weekend, and he was also a former UFC fighter. He won the co-main event in UFC 4 the last time they were in Iowa, the UFC. So that was a while ago. So kind of cool there, a little behind the scenes. But women's flyweight started off the night. Ivana Petrovic versus Juliana Miller. Juliana Miller got the unanimous decision. A lot of wrestling in this fight. Miller did what she had to do. She had a very emotional post-fight press conference. The dudes may or may not have had money on Ivana Petrovic, so that may or may not have been bad. Tomas Peterson with the win
Thomas the
over
Train.
Dontel Mays. Yes, Thomas the Train. He had a nice little cheering section in Iowa. Dontel Myers, just pretty much what this is just heavyweights swinging. 57 strikes to 1 strike in the third round, 36 to 3 in the second round, and 12 to 9 in the first round. So Thomas Peterson looked good on the ground. This was just two big ass heavyweights. This wasn't much to write home about. A lot of power involved in this fight, but I don't know if they show significant strikes. Yeah. So pretty much every strike Myers is throwing is significant, but that's kind of the deal with heavyweights. Moving on to a performance of the night, Quang Lee with the submission in the second round over Gaston Bolianos. The Peruvian fighter looked good, striking in the first round a little bit. I mean, takedowns was the story of this fight. Quang Lee got him down, ended up getting the submission in the second round. Third round not needed. He was the betting favorite before the fight, or the betting underdog before the fight, so that's good for Quang Lee. Two older fighters here, bantamweight division, start building their resumes. Mariana Rodriguez lost to Julianne Robertson. Julianne Robertson, who I believe is on a couple fight win streak now. Yeah, at least 3, 4. So 4 fight win streak for her. She's looked pretty good in her last couple fights. Couple decisions, a KO, another decision, loss, and then a submission. So Julianne Robertson, the Canadian, wait for her in this women's straw weight. Someone's trying to separate themselves there. Ozmat Bekoyev with the first round knockout of Ryan Loder. Also not good for the dudes. They may or may not have had money on Ryan Loder by KO. Another swinging fight here. The prediction was it would not go the full distance. That was correct. However, we did not have the winner correct. Loder, still a good fighter, I guess. He's getting up there in age now. Middleweight, he is a little small for middleweight. I don't know if he can make that cut down to welter. This may be close to the end of the line for Ryan Loder, at least in the UFC. The Russian Ozmat Bekoyev, they do what they do. Get some takedowns, try some takedowns. Yeah. A lot of strikes in this one. Bekoyev was the heavy favorite going into this fight, so it wasn't a surprise to most. Yana Santos got the win over Miesha Tate. Miesha Tate, who hasn't fought in the UFC in a couple years. That was kind of a common theme in this fight. 2023, her last UFC fight, ended 2023. So about a year off for Miesha, at least in the UFC. In the full fight, she had the more strikes. She had the takedown, attempted a lot, but significant strikes. Yana Santos keeping her distance, kind of keeping Miesha away, didn't allow Miesha to be Miesha. And that's what happens. So Miesha Tate kind of changed into the guard there. Women's bantamweight. I don't really expect Miesha to be back in the UFC. Another guy who's maybe done with his UFC after being brought back. Jeremy Stevens, who got cut up. Kid's got a chin on him for sure, and he's got some hands that he can throw. But Mason Jones looked decent enough. He got cut up during the fight as well. Unanimous decision. probably third round was a lot of wrestle effing as I mean, Mason Jones did what he had to do to win the fight, but I think if Stevens had a chance to stand and bang towards the
Right.
end,
He could.
in
Well,
the
that's
third
that's
round.
what you wanted. You couldn't let him sit there because he has knockout power. I mean, if you're gonna, you gotta take him down and try and control. I mean, Nick Howard calls that a boring fight, but what do you want him to do when the guy is like known for being like last second, third round knockout?
The
type
real
guy?
hardest hitting 45 are on this stage.
Yeah.
Uh,
Who the is that guy?
So 5 takedowns in the third round for Mason Jones, 8 attempts, 1 of 2 on the second round, and 2 of 2 in the first. So yeah, the wrestling just wasn't there for Jeremy anymore. He wrestled at Northern Iowa University, I believe, so he was a local kid. That's why they brought him back. The dudes may have had Jeremy Stevens by KO and was not very happy with that third round by Mason Jones.
The babyface killer.
Cameron Sutherland, yes, he, as much as he looked good during the fight, did not do enough to obtain the victory.
That one was really back and forth, but it was like kind of round one, the domination. And then he kind of like took off the gas, but Cameron didn't really do anything to like win the fight.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of opportunities for him. Another rough bout for kind of the bantamweight division. None of these guys separated themselves to show that they were up, and we're gonna have to see what happens in that bantamweight division. A lot of fun stuff. But Smotherman, a loss. I don't know if this takes him out of contention. Sadeh, he's moving on up. We'll see who we match these guys up with next. But 2 guys who are probably gonna start working their way towards the rankings. They got to do some more though. Both of them to go up there. Pretty close before the fight on the betting odds. Montel Jackson versus Daniel Marcos. Daniel Marcos undefeated going into this bout, and he was the underdog, so that was interesting, but Vegas was right once again. No strikes on this one. But Montel Jackson came out with the win. I believe it was a unanimous decision, yes. And, yeah, I mean, Jackson, another kind of wrestling bout here. And maybe they saved the wrestling bouts for the Midwest. Maybe that's kind of a good call. But, yeah, another good wrestling bout here. Marcos, undefeated. He's 17-0.
Yeah,
And
seriously.
he's probably going to get cut from the UFC. He did not look very good at all in this fight. That bantamweight division, once again, I mean, we had a couple bantamweight fights on this. Quang Lee looked good. Bolanos, not so much. Smotherman, not so much. Sadeh, I guess so. Marcos, not so much. And Jackson just kind of took care of Marcos. He didn't show me much either. So we'll see what happens in this bantamweight division moving forward. We did have a pretty good bantamweight fight up in the card, but first we had Santiago Ponzinibbio taking on D-Rod, Daniel Rodriguez.
Yeah, D-Rod.
Third round knockout for D-Rod. This was just swanging and banging. This was fun. D-Rod, not much technique. He's more of a brawler than a boxer, I guess I would say. Both 38 years old. This was kind of a retirement match, maybe for both guys. D-Rod probably wants to get in there. Maybe he goes to bare knuckle or something pretty soon. Ponzinibbio, he can do karate combat or something. Great careers by these guys. We'll wait to see what they have further out. But this fight, it was just kind of a brawling fight. Couple takedowns by Ponzinibbio. One in the second round. He tried a bunch. Yeah, 1 of 8, and then D-Rod doesn't take nobody down. So 70 strikes, 66 significance, and he did get a knockdown. Ponzinibbio thought that the fight was stopped a little early, decided to get up to challenge the referee, and fell back down.
Yeah, he fell.
So it didn't really.
It was
help
really
his case.
bad too. It was like he fell like it was like in the middle of the ring, and then he fell and ran right up against the cage. It was, yeah,
He
that
had a
was
good
pretty
couple
horrible.
seconds sitting
Yeah,
on the ground, and he still couldn't catch his bearings when he.
he
stood
couldn't
up.
figure it out. Didn't know where he was.
Yeah, rough look there for Ponzinibbio,
Yes.
but
Speaking of rough looks,
yeah, Bo Nickel, and I sent this in a text to some of my buddies. It looks like he went to bed a bantamweight, and then he woke up a middleweight and was like, wait, what the fuck do I do with all this extra weight on? Like, he didn't know what to do with his body. He couldn't take a strike.
See that? Look
didn't
at that
understand.
pit sweat, dude. Isn't that crazy?
he got dominated. It wasn't even close.
No, and I mean, he did get the takedown in the first round. I mean, it was looking a lot like one of these other fights. I mean, that's how simple it was. I mean, you look at the Jeremy Stevens fight, and you had a guy who really can't wrestle with a guy who can, in Bo Nickel, and Bo was able to do some things, but I mean,
wrestle.
I mean, not even really. He took a couple of hits and he fell down like a sack of potatoes. This was more of a Bo thing than a DeRitter thing, I think. Interesting. I mean, co-main event on a main card. He had to.
He's gonna have to fight. He's gonna have to fight two more guys now to even get another contention.
Yeah, and DeRitter's kind of right around that spot that you'd have him fighting. I mean, I think there's other guys you could throw him in there.
He's got to fight somebody else. Maybe get another DeRitter rematch for a 2. I mean, maybe two fights, but.
He needs to fight another wrestler, I guess. I mean, the UFC wants to build this guy up. They don't want to put him up against Paulo Costa next.
Well, right.
Or Vittori, or any of these other guys up at the top, Jared Cannonier. This is a puncher's division, Nickel, and wrestlers can work in some divisions where it's maybe not so power heavy. If you're a flyweight or a bantamweight or a once you start getting into featherweight, lightweight, then it's you start to get into punchers, right? You can get some big guys who just got some power, and maybe they're not good at wrestling, but it doesn't matter if I don't let you in. And Bo's starting to realize that, or I was hoping that he'd start to realize that. So we'll see what happens with Bo. Oh my gosh, it is just a real rough look for Bo Nickel.
Yeah.
And maybe you could chop it up to lethargic, or he wasn't ready for the fight, or something like that. I mean, he's not a Midwest guy, but he kind of has that Midwest ethos. He's a big America guy, USA.
Went to Penn State, big wrestler. That's huge in the Midwest.
Yeah, I mean, this was his spot.
Especially in Iowa. Iowa's huge.
Yeah, this is the perfect situation for him. DeRitter, a good guy. DeRitter called out Sean Strickland at the end of the fight. He said, I bet I beat the good American wrestler, so now I want to see the good American striker. Kind of a praise for
he needs to fight
Strickland.
Another fight before he gets all the way up to Strickland.
Maybe the UFC, because no one wants to fight Bo Nickel. Maybe you have to make those kinds of promises if you beat Bo Nickel. Right? I mean, we got to have our...
I'd rather see Ritter fight like Marvin Vittori.
Yeah, sure, get those two guys out of there. But
yeah, get them both out of there so that why should you
yeah, real interesting here. Looking forward to Bo's next fight.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It's gonna be. It's kind of like when Rojas finally lost, and like they're starting to build him back up too. But I think he's gonna kind of like have to. He's gonna have to fight his way.
Yeah,
back
you gotta take a couple steps back before he takes another step forward.
For sure.
All right, then moving our way up to the bantamweight division, Corey Sandhagen made Davidson Figueiredo look like a flyweight, which he is. Busted his knee. Corey Sandhagen, I don't know what else he needs to do to prove that he deserves a title shot. He's incredible. He can stick with all these guys at the top of bantamweight division. There's not any holes in his game. There's not. I mean, he can strike with the best of them. Incredible jiu-jitsu, incredible on the ground. Figueiredo was trying to do some crazy stuff, and Figueiredo's a great fighter, great grappler, good hands. Obviously, the reach was a thing in this, as Kyle likes to point out. This JPEG is a little wider than that one to try to get them to be the same height, and the feet don't start up the same. Kyle! And, but, yeah, Figueiredo... He's getting up there in age. Sandhagen, I think he's just around that 30 mark, so he's getting into his prime. I like Sandhagen a lot. We'll see what he does. Kind of a local guy for that Iowa area. He's a free spirit for sure, doing mushrooms on fight week and stuff. So we'll see what happens in this bantamweight division. I don't know if they try to get him another match, Umar or something, before he can go and fight for a belt. But if you keep on putting him against these guys that just won't, that will smother him and won't let him get in, they'll never get that chance against the real one, the final boss, the Marab. So you gotta work your way up the right way. And Figueiredo, great fighter as well. I mean, I don't think he drops too far in the rankings. He does have a little bit of an injury to deal with. But yeah, great, good-ish card all around. Some fun fights, some fun things to see. We didn't make a whole bunch of money. But good times, UFC fights. We do have an interesting one coming up. Do we have anything to say about Fight Night, Wells Fargo Arena, Des Moines?
No, it's just the Bo Nickel thing was kind of the biggest shocker there for sure. But it's kind of going to get the Rojas kind of treatment, I think, too, with that. But that was kind of the biggest thing coming out of Iowa, I felt like. And then, yeah, Sandhagen obviously deserves a title shot after just destroying Figueroa. But, yeah, good fights.
Now we have UFC Montreal coming up. Bilal Muhammad, remember the name, Jack Della Maddalena for the undisputed welterweight championship. We have 2 belts on this card. Valentina Shevchenko takes on Manion Farrow, a French fighter. A little French-Canadian action going on here. We have a Canadian, Amin Zahib, taking on Jose Aldo, bantamweight contenders. We also have Alexa Grasso on this card, obviously a former Mexican champion. Follow her Snapchat stories, very good. And Benoit Saint Denis versus Joel Alvarez. Actually, some news here. Joel Alvarez has dropped out of this fight, but we do have a call out. Matias Rebisti
Rabisti.
has called out. Close this guy. Benoit Saint Denis. He says he is on weight, he is on track, he can go on a week's notice to UFC 315. He's coming off a split decision win on UFC 306, Taporia versus Holloway against Matek Orobelli. Lost to Diego Ferreira before that. And has spent some time in the UFC. I mean, that was his first UFC loss. Went through the Contender Series. Has done it all the right way. Good fighter. Doesn't have many losses. So that would be a fun one to see. Benoit Saint Denis versus him. That does it kind of for the main card. Charles Radke takes on Mike Malort, another Canadian. Jessica Andrade, Jasmine Jusevikas, another Canadian. Modakis Bukakis versus Ion Kutelaba out of Moldova, one of the few Moldovan UFC fighters. Navajo Sterling and Ivan Irslan, the Croatian. Light heavyweight bout to start off the prelims. We do have an early prelim for the first time in a while. Brad Katona, the Canadian, will start it off against the Kazakhstani Bazat Alamakan. And the South Korean Jang Yong Lee will take on the Brazilian Daniel Santos. Another Canadian to round out the early prelims. Marc-Andre Barlot versus Bruno Silva. Bruno Silva, who I believe is coming off a loss. He's coming off 3 losses at least. Holy smokes, a 4-loss losing streak for Silva, who was up there in the rankings a while ago, but
Now
he's now an early prelim fighter. Marc-Andre Barlot, who is also coming off a loss, couple loss streak. Jesus, they keep these guys around for so fucking long. It's ridiculous. But Canadian fighters on the Canadian card. Fun stuff to see. Montreal, UFC. Pay for it. ESPN Plus. I think we should say that. Let's see if we can make some money this weekend.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it too. Obviously, the Bilal fight is going to be good. Who doesn't like watching Valentina beat up whoever they put in front of her? Jose Aldo fighting, and then Benoit has been doing really well as should be a good fight. A couple of good fights coming up. I know Gilbert Burns is actually the main event for the one after too. So we got some good fighters.
Yeah, fight week coming up.
Yep. Good fights coming up. As K-Stale hopefully comes back, we are going to move on to the favorite time of the Dude Sports Podcast, and that would be your smart or dumb segment. Now, as always, we have a host, which is K-Stale, if he ever decides to come back and join us. He will give us 5 questions. P4 and I have to answer the question. We're counting off if we got them right or wrong. Howard automatically is disqualified because he did not show up, automatically receiving a 0. So this is kind of helping out the main man from way out west and myself get a little bit of a head start against Howard, the current, after week 1 last week. P4 and myself were both tied at 3, and Howard was at 2. So me and the main man from way out west can really make our leads become bigger. So then when that fourth week comes around, hopefully that contest will be just for first place on the new host versus who's going to have to spin the Smarter Dumb wheel. We've had a few great times here on the Smarter Dumb segment and sometimes not. In the current season, we've only had one official full round, and that is Howard being a loser, did his 7-day TikTok challenge. We will have another one. We will keep a track of a record for the entire year and see how it goes. It's going to be very interesting for sure. P4, do you plus or minus movie questions from K-Stout today?
Only 5. I'm either thinking 2.5 or 1.5. Let's go 2.5. You think he throws a third? Is it going to be more movie questions?
I don't think it'll be a third. I think we'll get to 2. I think we'll get 2 movie questions. At least, definitely 100% 1. It's going to be at least 1. And it's going to be at least, he's going to have 1 or 2 MLB for sure. And he's going to throw some weird one at us because it's K-Stel. By the way, since we're waiting on him, should we talk about his contract real quick? Let's talk about the positives and negatives of K-Stel. Positives. He sets up the stream for us. He can be a comedic relief once in a while. He is our Stephen A. Smith, who just makes crazy takes over and over again. Negatives. He's always late.
Long-winded.
Very long-winded, especially for humanoid status. So I don't know if he's going to get that extended pending contract since he's now showing up for Smarter Dumb. Do you have your 5 questions ready? Because I've already explained all the rules.
I got 5.
Alrighty, go ahead.
Guys, Nick Howard's not here, so I'm not giving you softballs. You may have, maybe a couple, maybe softballs. I don't know for sure. What do we got here? Make sure I have all my answers. Cool. All right, guys. We'll start off with an NFL question. It's a random one. Guys, how many Super Bowls do the Rams organization have?
Is Super Bowls.
Super
not
Bowls.
NFL championships.
Super Bowl.
Okay. Because all right.
23 views tonight. It's pretty crazy. We have 10 seconds.
I got my answer.
We got him? Let's see. Dose. And Dose, you guys are correct. 2000.
Let's go!
And 2022. Pretty good softball. Sorry about that, Nick Howard.
No, screw him. He didn't show up.
He wasn't.
Nick Howard could
He
not.
was definitely going through a barrel on his surgery.
But listen. This is when it gets a little bit more difficult. Guys, most home runs in one game by one team is 10. What team has that record? I'll give you a hint there in the AL. Timer starts now. 1987 was when that record was created. 15 seconds. We got it?
Yeah.
Let's see. Yankees, Athletics, you guys are both wrong. It is the Toronto Blue Jays. Yeah, I know.
It's just like a 1 in 15 guess.
Yeah, I was like, I
Told you it was difficult. All right, guys. UFC question. I made sure that this was confirmed by the UFC website, by the UFC records website. Guys, what fighter has the most UFC wins of all time? What fighter has the most UFC wins of all time?
know he has the most submissions, but I don't know if it's the most wins.
PC, you good?
Yeah, I got it.
Let's see it. Let's see it. I got
Aldo's not a bad guess.
Oliveira and Aldo. You guys are both wrong. It is Jim Miller.
Oh.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Jim
Yeah, 'cause I was trying to
Put
think of
down
somebody that
Cerrone.
was. Yeah, I was like thinking of somebody who fought forever.
Yeah. Aldo
Well,
had the little gap in it, though.
yeah,
He went to
that's-
the PFL for a little bit.
Yeah.
But. Yeah, Miller. Fuck.
Guys, we are now done with the sports questions. Isn't
Oh,
that-
just
I
hit the
guessed
under.
it.
guys, do you know what day it is? What day is it? What's
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you, guys. I watched a couple of movies. I watched Revenge of the Sith in theaters again twice. Exciting. I've seen a couple of episodes of the new Andor, guys.
And lucky ladies who are fans of the Dudes in Sports podcast, this man is locked up.
Yep. He's taken.
No more takers.
Guys, I have a
Closed for
question.
business.
One that I think is easy. One that I think is maybe a little bit more difficult, unless you were a big Cartoon Network guy back in my day. Guys, question number 4. How many Sith Lords can there be in the universe, according to Yoda? How many Sith Lords can there be in the Star Wars universe, according to Yoda? It is a number. The timer does start now. Think about the
This isn't
think
a
about the
movie
movies. Think about the movies. How many Sith Lords are there in each movie? I'm giving you some time. I'll give you 45 seconds to think about it. P4's got his answer. But let's see it. Let's see it. 7-1. You guys are both wrong. 2. Palpatine, Darth Vader.
So, okay, I was gonna say, is an emperor also a lord?
Well, he is a Sith Lord, right? All that stuff. Palpatine and
I called him Emperor Palpatine.
yeah. Well, I mean, he was the Emperor, guys. This one's the hardest one. Sorry about it. If you get it right, I will be very, very, very proud. Guys, question number 5. Anakin Skywalker. He only had one Padawan, which means someone that he trained. That Padawan is who? Had a show named after them. Who is that Padawan? Clone Wars. She was in a lot. She was never in any movie.
I don't fucking know.
What Padawan is that? If you give me a description of him or her, I will give you the points based off of my judgment.
Okay, I think I remember her name, but I don't know if I spelled it right.
P4, I'm giving you a little bit more time.
Yeah,
If
I
you
don't.
can give a description of his or
Fucking
her
know.
appearance.
I did watch the Clone Wars. That's the only reason.
All right, let's. P4, are you good? You still guessing? I'll give you
Gotcha.
some time.
Just write down James.
Let's see it.
If I saw any commercials, would have
Cartoon
brown
with braids girl Ahsoka, guys. I'm gonna give you both that point. I
Let's
do know what
go.
P4 is talking about is Ahsoka Tano.
with like a gray
Yep.
Yeah, she's
Yep.
got like the
Thing.
Yep.
braided type.
It's
You
only
guys-
from commercials in between my Zeke and Luther.
So at the conclusion of week number 2, we didn't get as many points to really extend the lead too much, but gives us a little bit more of a gap between Howard, as both of us tied at 5 points, and Howard by himself down there at 2. Hopefully he can show up next week so then he can not be blown out going into week number 4 and maybe suffer back-to-back losses and back-to-back wheel of punishments. Only been done once in our history. That was when I lost 4 times in a row in season 1. That was pretty horrible, but it was what it was. Hey guys, another great podcast. Let's go whip around to the final dudes, have their final thoughts. Hey Stout, what are your final words to the people?
I heard a thing that Jack Caglione hits home runs when he wants to hit home runs, and I don't know if I want to believe it. I don't know if I want to believe it. He said that he's working on his hit tool more, and he said that he could hit a home run every game if he wanted to, and I don't know if I want to believe that.
That line drive was pretty cool, though.
Listen, he's a good player.
No, they can't. Like
No one can. Aaron Judge can't if he wanted to. If he wanted to, he can't.
Even Ichiro towards the end of his career when he started using the pop more. I mean, by then.
Ichiro.
Well, there was times like Ichiro.
Ichiro was one of the best to actually put it in the place where the defense was not. He's one of the best players.
Yeah, I mean that's all he did, and there was situations where.
That and speed. If he had
Like,
anything, if you're on the base,
I'm talking about home runs specifically.
Well, yeah, exactly. Ichiro, I think I saw a stat that like most of his home runs came when the team was down or something. Like he turns it on and off.
Yeah, no,
Like, what you're trying to say, Jack said, and even still, Ichiro's not.
Yeah, no, he
Can't do what
can't.
Jack's
No,
saying he
yeah,
did.
he can't. I get it, and it's also AA, and I get it, and it's whatever. Listen. I thought today I didn't even watch most of the game today. I was out golfing, and then the team. There was a foursome in front of us playing all four balls. What are we doing here? And they're shanking it all. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't even watch most of the game. 7 home runs for the Royals is crazy. I don't know what happens. If you told me today that the Orioles had 4 home runs in a game, I would have told you the Royals lost 10-3. And for some reason, the Royals said no. Bobby Witt Jr. had 2 hits the entire series. One of them was a home run. The other one was an RBI double. Vinny Pasquantino, he's shaved. He's got a mustache now. Michael Garcia is playing way too good. Luke Maile hit a home run for the Royals. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. I think the Royals have that sophomore album that's a little bit dirtier, a little bit grindy. It doesn't have to be the debut album where it's every hit after hit after hit. It's kind of that one album where you're kind of surprised and then stuff goes downtown. It's a good little vibe I dig with this Royals team. It's not all perfect sunshine and rainbows. Oh, we lost 106 games and now we're going to the playoffs. Now you kind of wanted a little dirty, little slump for the whole team. One of the things I'm very excited about is that the team slumps together. They slump together. And that shows a good team chemistry.
Is this not the same logic that I use when I say the hitting, like where they're hot together?
No, you talked about runs. You talked about runs specifically.
All right, yeah, continue, Kyle. It's your time.
No, I was just I'm not trying to say that my logic is more reasonable than your logic. I'm sure your logic is very reasonable compared to what's going on. But your team is also way better than my team when it comes to just overall roster construction. For Drew,
Sterling Marte would be the best outfielder in the Royals organization.
I get that, but Hunter Harvey is a tool we need very, 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 very much. This is the AL Central. We don't.
What do you guys want for Jeff? I'll give you Jeff McNeil. You got like is Asa Lacy worth it?
Asa Lacy is worth nothing. I'm going to save you right now. I'll give you Henry Williams, and I'll give you MJ Melendez. That'll do.
These are 40-man roster guy, man.
Dude, if we gave you Henry Williams and MJ Melendez, you would. I guarantee you're fucking. Oh, I just cussed. Dang it. Sorry, babe. Didn't mean to do that.
You got a cot in that room yet?
No, she's not. She's working, but I did cuss, and I don't like cussing a lot. But MJ Melendez, how about Hoffman and Henry Williams for Sterling Marte? We'll do that. We'll do that. We'll do that right there. I think that'll work.
No, Jeff McNeil. I like Marte.
I really, you know what I want? I want Evan Carter from the Texas Rangers. Remember that guy in the World Series? He was a baller, and then he just stunk, and I won him. MJ Melendez Hoffman. Thank you very much. Chris Young, former World Series Royal, GM for the Rangers right now. We'll take Evan Carter, that 22-year-old, and we'll turn him into a star. We'll give you Drew Waters for all I care. All right, that's all I got. I got nothing else.
Long-winded as always, main man from way out west. What's your final words to the people?
Go Mets, go Jets. Duke. We'll talk about like college basketball transfers. I need you guys to update me on how the 2026 national championship.
We'll get an update going here soon, especially because the draft is coming up actually next week. So next week is heavy draft and transfer, and then we'll start getting into.
Wait, no, the draft can't be next. Is the draft before the
No,
season's
excuse me.
over?
The NBA draft lottery, my bad, is on the 12th, Monday. So then we're going to figure out where Cooper will go. But everything else, we'll get the transfer portal action stuff starting back up next week.
I got another question down that same lane. Do play-in teams that don't make the playoffs, like, what's the lottery for? How many teams?
It's if you don't make the play-in. So there's
the other 10 teams or
there's
something?
like 10 or 12 teams, I think, yeah, that make the draft. Where's the
12 would
lottery
sound right,
at?
yeah, because they got an extra 2 in either, and 16 and 14.
Let me look at the odds. There are 14 teams. So yeah, the play-in team does actually. Those teams that didn't make. So like the last, like Atlanta has a 0.7% chance of getting, because they were the last team. They were the ninth. So if you make the play-in and don't make the playoffs, you're in chance for the lottery, as long as you still have your pick, obviously. But
all right, well, yeah, exciting podcast. A little bit on the shorter end, but no one's mad at that. Rewatch, share, show your buddies, let everyone know it's exciting times. Dudes in Sports, we're just getting bigger. I just ordered a new chair, actually.
neat for the comfiness, huh?
Yeah, and it's got like a little recliner option. Maybe it's a little cream colored or something. We'll see it eventually. It's nice. Thanks, K Stelt, for the inspiration, because I didn't want to buy him this $200 piece.
No,
of
P4,
shit.
thanks for the wedding gift. Thanks for the wedding gift. I appreciate
You're welcome. You're welcome, K Stelt. Tell the folks what I got you.
Yeah, you know what, P4, he sent me a couple of text messages, and he sent me this one item, and he goes, "What are you going to do with this? You're never going to use it." It was an ice cream maker, and I thought it was kind of ridiculous, because I would absolutely make ice cream every weekend of my life.
What flavor?
Of
Would
vanilla.
You put, like, oak chips in
No,
it?
no,
Try to make
no, pure vanilla, pure homemade vanilla. We're not doing a vanilla bean. But no, P4 did get me and my fiance a really, really, really nice.
Fucking ridiculous.
I can't even believe you bought it, to be honest. We just put that
I
on.
did it just for the joke, for the text.
And dude, we put that on there expecting one of our family members to buy it, and no, P4 bought a very, very nice drink mixing kit. And now I will.
Shout out to the main man from way out.
Now,
west
shout out to him.
For what a great friend.
Good guy,
P4,
P4.
main man.
Yeah,
Good guy, P4. Let's put that on a shirt. Good guy, P4.
And we just built
Good guy, P4.
We just built the bar. We just built the bar cart as well. So now I will have to learn to enjoy martinis dry, which I'm okay with. I can do that. I heard it keeps you sleeping well at night, so, and I'm okay with that. I may make a couple of rum and cokes once in a while.
There you go.
with the system, but appreciate that from P4 very, very much. P4 is a good guy, everybody. He's a good guy.
Good guy, P4.
At the end of the day, P4 is a good guy. He can make fun of me and PC and Nick Howard all he wants to, but he is a good guy. What did you just drop? You just drop a bone? Where'd it go? Right here. Take it.
All right, well, that's
I'm just
gonna
gonna
wrap
use
it
it
up.
to hold it against him. I'm gonna ask him every podcast if he's using his bar set up, and if he's not, I'm gonna.
I'll
tell
do it
him.
right in front of you. I'll mix Coke and
And
Coke.
if he
Oh,
is
the
using
pod.
it, then
Oh,
we're
the
gonna
pod.
tell
Oh,
him.
the
Remember
pod.
who got you that?
I'll mix Coke and Coke is what I said.
Okay, Coke, great. Hey, we'll see you as always 9:30 Central
Goodbye,
Time,
folks.
7:30 on your West Coasters there. Getting season
Jack
2. Things are
Caglione
coming back around.
is
We're
going
kind of
to
in
the Royals.
We're kind of in the dead season, kind of in that middle
Jack
part, but then it's gonna start
Caglione.
coming.
Jack.
Didn't even mention the Kentucky Derby, but it's too
Yeah,
late
you're
now.
right.
No, it
Too
doesn't
late
matter
now.
because
Sovereignty
render judgment didn't win.
lost, got smoked. But good.